Hello, on this edition of Commuter Connections, we'll learn what MTA is doing to prepare for the inevitable winter weather headed this way. We've also got a look at MTA police initiatives and efforts in the fight against terrorism. And we'll introduce you to the enhanced QB40 bus service, all right here.
MTA TV, the recipient of a 2015 Telly Award for Television Excellence.
I'm Sandy Arnett. Welcome to MTA Commuter Connections. Winter weather in this region can be difficult to travel and navigate through. MTA knows this and has been preparing and planning for its inevitable arrival in an effort to keep service operating during a weather event. Joining us with a look at MTA winter weather preparation is MTA Manager of the Operations Control Center, Dean Atkins. Welcome, Dean, to Commuter Connections.
Thank you, Sandy.
Now, I know it's important for the MTA to keep transit services up and running in good and bad weather. Tell me a little bit about how early in the year the MTA actually prepares for winter weather conditions and what you're doing right now to gear up.
Normally, we start preparing for winter weather around in October each year, which consists of a dusting off of our plans from the year before, lessons learned, things of that nature. We incorporate all of that into a booklet which is dispersed throughout operations so that we're ready to go at a moment's notice with a coordinated plan. And we generally finish that preparation probably in November, late November, and then we're basically ready for whatever the weather event may be.
So you're working with various departments within the MTA?
Yes, maintenance, communications, rail operations people, as well as bus and Metro.
Okay, so what would customers, or what should customers know about snowy and just say icy conditions, for example, how they would affect local bus service? Like what should they expect on those days?
The main thing that the public needs to know is that we're going to be late because traveling conditions, road conditions, things of that nature. Some areas of lines may not be able to be operated. We'll put out diversions and things of that nature. And we just keep moving as much as we can, keeping people updated through our website and things of that nature as well. So we'll be moving, but we'll probably be diverting buses as well as we'll be a little bit late.
Oh, okay, okay. So that would also be the same for light rail service, for instance, or is there anything different there?
Light rail generally is not affected too much by snow. Now, ice is a different matter because of the catenary. So we can't predict exactly where that may happen, but it does happen. If it does, we'll use bus bridges and we'll just link the two stations together, the areas together through bus service.
Okay, now when you say a bus bridge, what exactly is that?
A bus bridge is an area where we can no longer run or actually operate the rail system. For example, let's say the North Avenue station to Camden, if you will. And we'll use buses to transport our patrons between those 2 points. Okay. And that's all a bus bridge is.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. So now I know with just say snowy, icy conditions, you know, that can definitely affect above ground service. So what impact might it have on any services underground like your Metro subway?
None whatsoever. But Metro could be affected depending upon the weather on our aerials. So if they're affected, we will simply just continue operating service underground between Johns Hopkins and Dahlman.
Oh, okay. So roughly how many riders use transit in Maryland, in the Baltimore area?
A couple of 100,000 a day.
Okay, so you're moving a lot of people.
Yes, we do.
You're moving a lot of people.
Yes.
Okay, so now if someone wants to get more information ahead of an inclement weather condition, how can they go about doing that? How does the MTA notify its riders?
They can log into our website, which covers bus, metro, and light rail, and get updates there. They can also utilize their Twitter and Facebook and other social media.
Now, I understand, too, that there's a snow guide that kind of gives some of the information where you can tune in for our transit team reports as well. So that might be another option.
That would be another
for our
option.
riders. Okay, great. So tell me a little bit, too, with the snow guide. Do you know where they might be able to pick up copies of that?
I understand that it's also on the website.
On the website? Okay.
Yes.
So is there a number that customers also can call for information from the MTA?
Yes, 410-539-5000.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much. Hopefully, we'll have a mild winter this year.
We're counting on it.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Now, during the Christmas holiday, MTA was out and about in the community spreading holiday cheer, and MTA Commuter Connections was there.
MTA ended 2015 with lots of holiday cheer. In December, families and commuters throughout the area converged on the Mondawmin Metro Station to see the annual Train Garden display. The Train Garden exhibit was a big hit. Santa and Helper greeted MTA bus passengers on the 2015 Santa Holiday Bus just before the big holiday. Transit riders throughout the area were pleasantly surprised to find Santa driving their daily bus line.
It's a really cool bus, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's really cool, huh?
Santa Claus good at driving.
As this specially decorated transit vehicle rotated its presence on a number of area bus routes. Holiday bus riders were treated to candy canes and a special selection of holiday music chosen by Santa himself for this jolly old ride. Also in December, MTA made arrangements with Santa to have him drop by Baltimore's New Rogers Avenue Day Nursery to say hello to the children there, who were all happy and surprised to see one of their favorite people at their day school. MTA police were also in the community for their annual Adopt a Family event in Baltimore. MTA police and employees assisted families with items to help make the holiday season a joyous time. MTA looks forward to making a difference in the community during 2016.
Next, a look at what MTA police are doing to secure MTA transit services against the threat of terrorism. Stay with us.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs, just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Quiet, please. Wait a sec. I'll take one. Oh, yeah. All right. All good. Take care. Way to go. Nice. Bring it on. Gotcha. I'm here for you. Oh no. Please, please, please. I'm waiting. Interesting. Not buying it. Not fair. That's it. This conversation is over. Oh, brother.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things.
I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke.
Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
The word terrorism has increasingly become an active part of our daily news headlines. Recent international and domestic incidents of terrorism have raised questions and concerns about security and safety everywhere, including in and around transit. Here with a look at what MTA police are doing to help keep transit safe is MTA Police Captain Kelly Holman. Welcome back to Commuter Connections. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Now, the daily news headlines have many people concerned about terrorism, especially in public places like public transportation or maybe at some of the transit hubs. Can you tell me a little bit about what MTA police are doing to keep riders safe?
Well, the MTA police deploy its resources through our CompStat process. The CompStat process is a computerized statistical process which helps us identify crime trends in specific areas. Throughout that CompStat process, we deploy uniform and plainclothes officers through stationary and roving patrols. We also have an anti-terrorism team. That anti-terrorism team receives active shooter training as well as tactical response training in an effort to thwart any terrorist activity.
So how important are relationships for the MTA with local and federal law enforcement agencies in this day and age of terrorism?
Well, those relationships are vital in the safety of our transit community. We have MOUs, which is short for Memorandums of Understanding. We partner with the Transportation Security Administration, that's the TSA, by deploying our canine explosive detection dogs. We also partner with the federal government as far as the FAMs, Federal Air Marshals. They come on property, and especially at some of our special event details, specifically like the football games and things we have done at Camden Yards. And those memorandums of understandings assist us with responding to calls for service and presenting a more visible, high visibility for our riding community.
So what challenges, I mean, even with with the partnerships, you know, what challenges are you really facing in trying to keep people safe on transit?
Well, under the leadership of Colonel John Gavrillis, our Chief of Police, we strive to continue to meet that challenge and that expectation of providing a safe environment, implementing, as I said earlier, the MOUs with the allied agencies, and just utilizing the technology we have today to ensure that we have eyes and ears on every station, every property that the transit community enters upon.
Okay, so now I know we're talking a little bit about what you're doing in the event of, you know, to I guess, be prepared in the event of a terrorist attack. But what about with just everyday crime on transit?
Everyday crime, again, is established through our CompStat process. We deploy officers in uniform as well as in plain clothes to stationary and roving patrol stations just to ensure that we are available for immediate response.
And tell me again, what is CompStat?
CompStat is a computerized statistical process where we identify the crime trends in specific areas, and through that process we're able to deploy resources to meet those crimes.
Now, is there anything that transit riders or just the general public can do to assist the MTA police in your efforts?
Absolutely. First and foremost thing is if you see something, say something. I think that's on almost every conveyance we have out on the street for everyone to see. Secondly, be the best witness you can possibly be, just in case you are victimized. First, don't struggle for your property. Surrender your property. Last thing we want is to have something happen to one of our riders. But if that were to happen, be the best witness, meaning stay on that conveyance, identify any possible details of your attacker, and notify the police immediately. Oftentimes people respond home and then they call us to come to the house to take the report. That takes up a lot of time as far as investigation is concerned, because now we have to try and find out what particular conveyance you were on at the time of the incident.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you like to know about it right away.
Yes.
Now, you also mentioned the K-9 unit. I understand you have a very professional and effective K-9 unit. How many teams, K-9 teams, do you have, and how long have they been around?
Currently, we have 3 K-9 units. We actually have one going back to school in January, so we'll have 4 very shortly. Our K-9 team has been in existence since we sent our first team in 2005. And that was precipitated due to the London and Spain bombings in 2004. The Congress decided that maybe TSA needed to expand their teams as far as the explosive K-9 units were concerned. And we sent our first team to Texas, Lackland, Texas in 2005.
So tell me exactly, how are the K-9 units used on transit to keep riders safe?
The K-9 units participate in our ZEUS. ZEUS is a Zone Enforced Unified Sweep. During those sweeps, K-9 as well as other officers participate in arriving at a station, doing a complete survey of vulnerabilities and threats against that particular station, boarding trains, interacting with the riding public, checking for explosive maybe in trash receptacles and rooms that may not be accessible to the public but have gained, public has gained access to those areas. And just actually being an extra force multiplier for the department.
So now you have a special facility too where you train and I guess house your K-9 units.
Yes.
Tell
Actually,
us a little bit
the
about
K-9s
that.
aren't housed there on a regular basis. They are a part of the handler's family. So they go home every day. Unless that handler's on vacation or out on sick leave, then the K-9s are kept at their facility. But it's a state-of-the-art facility, as you mentioned. It's a heating and air conditioning. The outside grounds area actually has a heated floor, concrete floor. It keeps down from the dogs catching arthritis, giving them a comfortable environment if they're there for a long period of time. It also has a training yard where they get their daily exercise. I believe we did a couple of segments on photos on that, just to give you all a glimpse of what they do on a daily basis.
So it's really good to see that the MTA police are doing everything possible to make sure that riders are safe on transit.
Yes, we are.
And there are things that people can do as well. Like you said, be mindful of your surroundings. Be careful with, I guess, valuables that you display in public. And if you see something,
say something.
Say something.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Now, just ahead, we'll introduce you to the new QB40 bus, which is making a difference in transit service. That's next.
Time to wake up. I've got
got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Don't forget, you've got a job to do today.
Hey, Mom. I got the job. Thanks.
Got the job. Welcome aboard.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
All in together now. We can make it better now. Come on, can we do it?
Yeah, you know that we can.
We'll rope it up.
Cause we know how to jump.
We'll roll it out.
Cause we know how to skate.
We'll cut it down.
Cause we know what to eat.
We'll swap it out.
We eat healthy stuff.
Can we do it?
Yeah, you know that we can.
Can we do it?
Yeah, you know that we can.
Yeah, well come on.
Today's a good day to grab your kids and hang out with them for an hour. Dance, walk, play a sport, or cook a healthy meal. Because just moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your child healthier.
Can we do it?
Yeah, you know that we can.
We'll ball it up.
Cause we know how to hoop.
We'll mess around.
Cause we know how to play.
We'll drop it down.
Cause we know how to dance.
We'll veg it up.
Veggie night and day.
Can we do it?
Yeah, you know that we can.
All in together now. We can make it better now.
Search We Can to find doable tips and activities that you can use every day to keep you and your kids healthy.
Governor Larry Hogan recently announced plans to completely transform transit in Baltimore with the introduction of a new bus system called CityLink. One of the services on the way to the new plan is the QB40 bus. And MTA Director of Service Development, Michael Walk, joins us with a look at this route. Welcome, Michael. Thank you for joining us with Commuter Connections.
Glad I could be here.
So now tell us, what is the Quick Bus 40 or QB40?
So the Quick Bus or QB40 is a route that operates along an east-west alignment. On the west side, it goes as far as the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and Security. And on the east side, it goes as far as Middle River. And just recently, we had enhanced service on the QB40 on the west side of that route between CMS, or the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, and City Hall.
Now, with the enhancements that were in place, is that part of this whole transit improvement plan for Baltimore?
Yeah.
That the governor recently announced?
Exactly. You know what? MTA wanted to do something fast, quick, to meet a need that we know was already there. And we really needed more service on that west side of the 40. There's major job centers along that corridor, including the Social Security Administration and CMS. And that part of the QB40 also ties in with 3 of our rail modes, MARC, Metro, and Light Rail. So it's an important job connection area as well on the west side of the 40. And so it was sort of a first installment on the vision of Baltimore Link and the CityLink routes.
So just in general, how long has QB40 service existed?
The QB40 has actually started many, many years ago. And it was envisioned as a faster type service in order to get, it stops less often than other routes, and it gets people from one side of the city to the other faster. This enhanced service actually started October 25th, just a few days after the governor's announcement, and so far it's been a very successful service.
That's great. So when you talk about enhancements, getting people from one place to another faster, how often are the QB40 buses running, roughly?
Yeah, so they're scheduled to operate about every 10 minutes during most of the day on weekdays, and every 10 to 15 minutes on weekends. And that's an improvement over the current schedule of the 40. But the more buses per hour, that's only on the west side of the route.
Oh, okay. So now what is the cost to ride the QB40, and roughly how many people use the service?
Oh, good. Yeah, the QB40 costs the same as every other bus route we have, just the typical base fare, the $1.70 to get on one way, or the option to purchase a day pass or use a pass product. And in terms of the number of people that are using it, we gathered the ridership numbers, and in fact, the new service has increased ridership on the 40. So when we compare October ridership to November ridership, we see now about 1,000 more people a day riding the QB40 on weekdays, on Saturdays, and on Sundays. In fact, on weekdays, we're up to about 11,000 people a day riding the QB40.
That's great.
Yeah.
So the enhanced service is really attracting a lot more
Yeah,
people.
it definitely seems to be attracting more people.
That's great. So now if someone is catching the QB40, does that bus look any different than any of the other MTA local buses?
So it depends. The QB40 buses that are just on the normal route are just your typical MTA bus. The QB40 buses that are part of the enhanced service or the added trips actually have colored destination signs. So as the bus approaches you, you'll see red and yellow on the top of the bus above the windshield, and you'll know that those are the added buses above and beyond what's already scheduled on the QB40.
So what's the plan for QB40 once, Baltimore Link is fully implemented, this new transit improvement plan we were talking about?
Yeah, sure. The Baltimore Link plan, changes about every bus route in the system as we currently have it proposed. And on this corridor, the Baltimore Link plan actually starts 2 new CityLink routes. One's called the CityLink Blue, one the CityLink Orange, each serving different portions of the city. The west side would be the blue line, and the east side would be the orange line. But basically, they serve the same major corridors on both sides of the city as the current QB40 does.
So we're starting with enhancements on the west side. What are other plans for the Baltimore area regarding QB40?
That's a good question. The west side enhancements was really sort of our first installment or our pilot test. In fact, we're actually adding additional shelters and other bus stop enhancements on that corridor. And really, we see this as basically a pilot test for the future CityLink service. CityLink routes will come about every 10 minutes during rush hour and 15 minutes in the middle of the day. So this QB40, this focused investment on the west side, is really our first installment towards better service as a whole under the Baltimore Link plan. And this is helping us kind of work out any kinks that we have to make sure that when we implement the rest of the CityLink services, we do it right.
Okay. And it sounds like, you're well on your way to bringing better and improved services.
Absolutely, that's the goal.
To the citizens of Baltimore.
Absolutely.
Great. So thank you for joining us. Now that brings us to the end of another edition of Commuter Connections, our first program of 2016. We, of course, wish you and your family the best in the coming new year. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.